Now on CoastTV News.
We're seeing lots of clouds this morning, but the sun will return later today and into the weekend as well with near normal temperatures. I'll have more details coming up.
The annual Delaware Volunteer Firefighter Convention is taking place this week, and why the event is so important to volunteers across the state.
Federal involvement at the beaches, the expansion of the investigation into the waste washing up on our shore as we begin the 5th day of this crisis.
Milton works on affordable housing plan. We look at some of the options being considered by the town.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we continue as we hit our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, I'm Paige Marley. It is Thursday, September 19th, 2024.
Like that song, Return of the Mac? We have the return of the sun today.
Yes, and we, I think, can all take kind of a sigh of relief because, you know, we thought, when are we going to see the sun again?
Yeah, we got through the yellow alert days. We did okay.
Yeah, we did all right. So I don't know if you're going to need sunscreen and all that, but we'll find out with Bob right now. Bob, am I getting too excited, or is this just going to be like a little bit of sun today?
No, I think enough sun where you definitely need that SPF 30 plus. Yeah, you need that stronger sunscreen today. I thought the sun may not come out to this weekend, but the weather gods had other ideas. Now we're looking at a lot of clouds this morning, nothing in the way of rain, but still take it slow out there. Maybe still a few puddles, some wet roads, but the main rain has moved offshore. We just have a swirl of clouds over Delmarva right now, even a few light showers popping up near Baltimore, D.C., down into the Carolinas, and there's still enough moisture hanging around. We could see a stray shower this afternoon. Otherwise, out the door, upper 60s from Salisbury to Georgetown, 68 for you. Milton, 69, but 70 from Lewis to Bethany Beach. And instead of an easterly wind, a very strong wind, it's a lighter north-northeast wind. So lower coastal impacts, but Sussex County still has a coastal flood advisory as we go through the next couple of days. Futurecast has the clouds, and we will see breaks and more in the way of sunshine as we go through the morning. In fact, by noon, lots of sunshine. Upper 70s inland, cooler low to mid 70s from Dewey Beach to Fenwick Island, but look at 80 degrees popping up for inland areas. So looking good there. So make sure you have the sunscreen. The September sun's still strong. It's high. It's a 7. Burn time is 20 minutes. So sunglasses and sunscreen, especially late morning into early afternoon. We go from the high range to the medium range. So be extra cautious in the sun.
We will, Bob. Thank you. This week, volunteer firefighters from across Delaware are coming together for the annual Delaware Volunteer Firefighters Association Conference.
And CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is in the newsroom. Lisa, this is taking place in Dewey Beach, and it's been a while since the town has hosted this event.
Yeah, Matt and Paige, this conference kicked off on Monday in Dewey Beach, and this is actually the first time that this volunteer conference has actually been held at the Delaware beaches since 1997. And distinguished volunteers from across the state were honored at the event. And this is one of the few times all of the fire companies in the state have the chance to be together. Governor Carney is expected to sign 5 bills today at noon that would benefit Delaware's volunteers. These include update to move over for first responders, distribution of insurance premium funds, membership requirements for federal background checks, line of duty death benefit increase, and Delaware flag for member of 10 years of service or more.
And now another goal of this conference is to bring all the volunteers together under one roof.
And Elisa, you spoke with a firefighter about what this conference means to them.
Yeah, Paige, we'll hear from that volunteer a little later on, but he told me that his favorite part of the conference is seeing volunteers of all ages and experience come together, and he said it's also a great way for everyone to network. Back to you.
Elisa, thank you so much. Happening now, an investigation continuing into Ocean City's police department. The department confirms it involves workplace misconduct by 5 police officers. Police saying a county charging committee is now reviewing findings from the investigation, after which it'll make a disciplinary recommendation to the chief. Police say this will take time. 3 officers have been suspended in May over the alleged misconduct, but what exactly that misconduct was has not been publicly disclosed.
At day 5 of the medical waste situation on our beaches up and down the Delmarva coast, beaches remain closed because of waste washing ashore, and if it weren't for that waste, the beaches likely would still be closed due to rough surf. Maryland authorities confirming the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, is working with Delaware and Maryland to determine why this medical waste continues to wash up and where it came from. People CoastTV spoke with say the waste washing up is unacceptable.
You don't want to get stuck with a used hypodermic needle. I guess it's probably even more dangerous if you're in the water, but it's, coming up on the beach. We're seeing people pick things up.
And the things that we've seen, the debris, it ranges from pill bottles to tubing to those needles. This does bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what do you think caused the medical waste to wash ashore?
Ooh, didn't that go up? 89%? I think it was lower before. I could be wrong.
It was in the 80s.
It was in the 80s, yeah. But most of you obviously voting for illegal dumping. Just a few of you chiming in with storm runoff, waste facility error, and an unknown source. So a couple good options there. Whatever you're thinking, go ahead and vote. Go to coasttv.com or vote on the mobile app.
Emergency plans to improve the Indian River Inlet are moving forward. This after the dune breaches this year. DelDOT will add sheets of steel. This will create a wall. DENREC will do an emergency sand replenishment project to boost the beaches. And after getting some requests by environmentalists, both agencies are now holding a public meeting about this on September 25th in Bethany Beach.
A controversy now over a proposed apartment complex in Georgetown continues. The new complex would have 6 buildings added, and it would be across from Savannah Road on Calhoun Street. Some neighbors don't really want it. Casey Christoffel is the executive director at Primeros Pasos Preschool, and she says the complex would add congestion and could even threaten children's safety.
I think it's the traffic. I think that parents are waiting to come in. I think the buses are here, and there are several cars that pass the buses, which is a hazard to the kids.
The Town Planning Commission voted yes on this project at its planning and zoning meeting last night, but it does now have to go through to Town Council.
Happening today, the next step in creating more affordable housing options in Milton.
The town's committee asking with overseeing this effort will review proposals from the Milford Housing Development Corporation.
Now, just to be clear here, the name of the corporation is Milford. It does manage all 4 of Milton's subsidized housing facilities,
including Milton's Landing. The site permit there allows for expansion, and there are plans for next year for an additional 48 units.
And Paige, the Milford Corporation has told the town that if accessory dwelling units or ADUs are permitted,
it would help with people wanting these types of homes to pay for it if they do not have financing or are able to get a loan.
This is all in the early stages. The information reviewed today will be used to write a report with recommendations to the town council. In his first rally since the second assassination attempt, former President Donald Trump addressed a crowd in New York where he doubled down on claims from people living in Springfield, Ohio, about Haitian migrants eating pets.
And meanwhile, Vice President Harris addressing some issues of the economy and immigration with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. NBC's Bree Jackson shows us how both campaigns are taking a different focus.
Under heightened security, former President Trump addressed rally-goers in New York.
This evil would-be assassin got within a few hundred yards of where I stood, but thankfully, our outstanding Secret Service agent, and they are outstanding.
Mr. Trump also doubling down on debunked claims about immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, pledging to travel there in the next 2 weeks.
You may never see me again, but that's okay. Gotta do what I gotta do. Whatever happened to Trump? Well, he never got out of Springfield.
The city's mayor urging both campaigns to stay away, and the Ohio governor agrees.
I think the candidates should talk about the mess on the southern border. This is a real, legitimate issue that the American people are very, very concerned about.
Speaking to a gathering of Hispanic leaders, Vice President Harris stressed tackling border security and immigration reform.
Understand we can do both. Create an earned pathway to citizenship and ensure our border is secure.
Financial security remains top of mind for most Americans and a key election issue. The Federal Reserve announcing welcome news that it's slashing interest rates by 0.5 point.
This decision reflects our growing confidence that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the labor market can be maintained.
This marks the Fed's first rate cut since the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, an aggressive start to easing concerns about inflation. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Meanwhile, the Teamsters Union made a surprise move of refusing to endorse either candidate this election cycle, as a majority of its rank and file voted for the union to endorse former President Trump.
All right, we're just getting started this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Now, coming up, hoping for a loving home, we'll show you a few dogs who are now looking for their forever family after being rescued from a very troubling situation in Bridgeville.
Also, new funding for Ocean Pines Police thanks to a big grant from Maryland. We're breaking down what the department says that money will go towards.
A final resting place for those who served, getting the treatment our heroes deserve. We'll show you more on this week's Coastal Connections, all that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Hi, this is Paul Williams, Chief Meteorologist at Coast TV, and I'm inviting you to join me on Sunday, September the 29th at 10 a.m. at the Cape Henlopen State Park for the inaugural Walk for Prostate Cancer. As a prostate cancer survivor, I know firsthand how important it is to raise awareness and support those battling this disease. Let's walk together, get screened, and raise funds for the Delaware Prostate Cancer Coalition. For more details, visit coasttv.com.
Calling all truckers. Rigs from across the U.S. roll into town to be part of the 22nd Annual Truck Convoy for Special Olympics, Saturday, October 5th. Over 200 trucks take a police-escorted ride from the Delaware State Fairgrounds and parade throughout southern Delaware. All proceeds benefit thousands of athletes who train and compete year-round here in Delaware. Participants must be pre-registered by September 30th. For more info and to register, visit SODE.org.
Turn your dreams of a perfect kitchen into reality with That Cabinet Store, where a dedicated team of designers will bring your vision to life. Whether it's traditional or European, kitchen design is our specialty. And we can get your fully customized kitchen cabinets installed in as little as 4 weeks, semi-custom in 10 days. And if you're looking for new countertops, we offer quality in-house fabricated countertops. Dream today, designs for tomorrow at That Cabinet Store, located with Matt the Carpet Guy in Selbyville and Salisbury.
Mondays at 5 on Big 107.7. It's time to huddle up and talk football.
We're talking touchdowns, tackles, and everything in between. From game-changing plays to the latest news around the league.
We'll take a deep dive into all of the plays that made a difference.
We'll see you in the end zone.
Catch the End Zone, Mondays at 5 on Big 107.7.
Veterans all over the country risk and sometimes give their lives in an effort to keep us safe. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us an initiative called Saluting Branches, which gives back to them one last time.
The Delaware Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Millsboro is the final resting place for those who served and lived in Sussex County. But sometimes these cemeteries become overgrown by plants or limited with dead trees. Multiple landscaping and tree care companies are teaming up to ensure that doesn't happen.
I mean, for us and my staff, you know, we appreciate the fact that we can do what we do because they did what they did. And that's really what it comes down to, a way to give back to those families and those memories.
The effort is called Saluting Branches, and it's nationwide, with volunteers cleaning up 100 different veteran-related areas like medical centers, group homes, and cemeteries. Toby Schlick says this means the world to him.
I am a veteran, and my family were all retired Marines, and so they're all buried in veteran cemeteries, so to me it means a lot.
40 volunteers spent their day in Millsboro at the Veterans Cemetery, something volunteers say is the least they could do to say thanks to those who gave so much. This is Saluting Branches' 10th year cleaning up veteran sites, and they don't ever plan on stopping. I'm Kevin Zappe in Millsboro, Coast TV News.
Coastal Connections is sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Transform your bath today with Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Call now and ask about our Refresh for Less promotion and get a new bath or shower for only $69.95. Plus, get 20% off all upgrades.
Imagine stepping into a beautifully renovated bath designed by our experts and installed by our certified professionals.
This offer is hotter than a sauna and won't last forever. So don't miss out on our Refresh for Less promotion for just $69.95 with 20% off all upgrades.
Before you sign, keep Baths by Spicer Brothers in mind, because you deserve the best.
Hurricane season is here, which means power outages can strike anytime without warning. Don't get caught in the dark. Let the expert electricians at FH Fur install a Generac whole home standby generator, keeping your lights on, your family connected, and your home safe no matter what. Call FH Fur today and get $1,000 off. Plus, for a limited time, we'll include a whole home surge protector absolutely free. When Mother Nature strikes, it's too late. Stay powered, stay safe with FH Fur.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
Make sure your neighborhood feels like home with landscaping and property services by Herker Property Maintenance. We combine science and art to create and maintain the landscape masterpiece you've always dreamed of. We can handle the largest developments and commercial properties all over and provide a consistent data evaluation to keep your property perfectly maintained. Clean, innovative, fast, reliable, from landscaping to pavement services and everything in between. Take an innovative approach with Herker Property Maintenance.
The weather is brought to you by Spicer Brothers Construction. Born here to serve here.
Transform your bath today with baths by Spicer Brothers.
Call now and ask about our Refresh for Less promotion and get a new bath or shower for only $69.95. Plus, get 20% off all upgrades.
Imagine stepping into a beautifully renovated bath designed by our experts and installed by our certified professionals.
This offer is hotter than a sauna and won't last forever. So don't miss out on our Refresh for Less promotion for just $69.95 with 20% off all upgrades.
Before you sign, keep Baths by Spicer Brothers in mind, because you deserve the best.
Time is 6:16 and you are looking live at Salisbury. Just starting to see the hints of the sunrise. The sky's lightening up a little bit. Drier today, Bob, but there are issues along the coast you are tracking.
Yeah, still issues there. You know, we have, obviously, we've talked about the medical waste situation. So most of the beaches are closed. But as far as impacts from Mother Nature, still a coastal flood advisory for Sussex County. This goes until Friday, 3 o'clock, as we're still seeing impacts there. Some of those low spots, vulnerable spots when we have storms or times of high tide. Watch out for inundation, maybe up to a foot at time of high tide from Lewis down to Fenwick Island. For the eastern shore, coastal flood advisory, Dorchester, Somerset, Wycomico counties until Thursday evening. You too on the bay side could have some problems, especially at time of high tides, as the wind has turned more to the north now, so lesser impacts, but still some impacts. So watch out for that with lesser winds inland right now. And we're still seeing a swirl of clouds over the top of us. The main rain has moved offshore, and we're seeing some breaks in the overcast as well, but it looks like the thicker clouds across the eastern shore as we have low pressure offshore with the rain and clouds there, and still a few showers from D.C. down into the Piedmont of North Carolina, and maybe a stray shower as we go through the day, but for the most part, the stormy weather is moving away. Upper 60s inland this morning, so maybe just a light jacket, 70 from Rehoboth down to Bethany Beach. And here's Futurecast at 7 o'clock. We have the clouds. We're seeing some breaks as well, and we can't rule out a stray sprinkle, especially at the beaches. Otherwise, we see increasing sunshine through the morning and by noon into the upper 70s, but cooler right along the coast. Only 70 in Dewey Beach, Fenwick Island, 72, and you're going to end up in the low to mid 70s while we're looking at 80 in Millsboro, Georgetown, and other locations this afternoon. This evening, pretty pleasant. Then overnight, mostly clear. Watch for fog developing late. Some of that could be dense by Friday morning. Otherwise, a little cooler, upper 50s well inland to low to mid 60s at the beaches. And then for your Friday at noon, we're looking at a bit of a northeast flow. Temperatures in the upper 70s, maybe 80 in Salisbury, but cooler for the coast, and maybe a few clouds as we go into the afternoon. Thicker clouds offshore, and then cooling off into Friday evening, but looking good for the football games and your outdoor activities. And as we go through time, here's an area of low pressure offshore, and this is late Friday. We're dry, and it looks like the rain is close to us, but then moving away as we go through the weekend. This model showing maybe a little bit of shower activity on Sunday, but all in all, looking dry as the winds are north and then becoming variable, so lesser coastal impacts as we go through time. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 80 today as the sun returns and more sunshine on your Friday. 78 by Saturday, mostly sunny, 79 degrees, and cooling off in the mornings by Monday and Tuesday morning into the upper 50s. We end the weekend with a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, 74, a little cooler on Monday, 72, and then mid 70s by Wednesday, and still dry with a mix of sun and clouds.
Thank you, Bob. Some taxpayer money being funneled to the Ocean Pines Police Department. This is in the form of a $61,000 grant. The police department claims this will help with the cost And the grants are handed out by Maryland Governor Wes Moore's Office of Crime Control and Prevention, as well as the Maryland Highway Safety Office. Police Chief Tim Robinson calls the grants, quote, critical in helping meet the growing needs of the community. So just what will the money be used for? We'll break that down for you. Close to $4,000 comes from the body armor grant. Close to $4,500 will cover overtime expenses. $35,000 will be used to buy new and advanced body cameras. Over $15,000 will be funding recruitment and retention incentives.
Coming up next on Coast TV News Today, hoping for a loving home, we're telling you about the progress of dogs who were recently rescued from a bad situation and what they're now looking for to find their forever family. Don't go anywhere.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, somewhere to smile about.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped me get to the first day at my career, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from my service helped me buy my first home. And I take pride knowing I will be the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
To learn more, visit nationalguard.com/DC.
Join the Harry K Foundation for the Fashion for Charity Girls Night Out October 16th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Shellville Village in Rehoboth Beach. Indulge in cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, a fashion show, and shopping on this evening of fashion, food, friends, and philanthropy. Tickets are $48 with benefits going to the Harry K Foundation, working to defeat childhood hunger throughout Delaware. For tickets and info, visit harrykfoundation.org. Sponsored by Coast TV.
Oh, porches. Hello, aren't you the guy I see on TV, the porch protection guy?
Yeah, I would
So they're
say-
made of marine grade materials that last for years?
Yeah, I would
And
go-
they say I could use my porch all year round?
I think
And
so.
they keep the dirt, pollen, and rain and wind out?
And
And the
so-
custom made right here locally?
They are.
I got to run, but it was really nice talking to you.
Well, it was nice talking to you too.
Call or visit porchprotection.com for your free quote.
In 2019, two visionaries banded together behind a restaurant to create the ultimate pizza, starting from scratch, just like our dough. At the Dough Bar, everything is a season for a reason. From our gourmet specialty pizzas to our signature sandwiches and mouth-watering entrees, we use high-quality ingredients for a freshness you'll crave. Enjoy our specialty cocktails with 16 craft brews on tap, or toast your own s'mores tableside by the water. Order online or visit the Dough Bar, Milton, Delaware's hidden gem.
1 month ago, 20 dogs were rescued from neglect and abuse at a home on Ida Lane in Bridgeville. But now 4 of those dogs are up for adoption. Axel, Buddy, Drake, and Lola. They are looking for a place to call home. Senior Operations Manager at the Brandywine Valley SPCA, Laura Page, says after weeks of care and treatment, those dogs have done a complete 180.
The open wounds are gone. The scabs and sores are gone. The coat has grown back pretty well on all of them.
And the BVSPCA, they also have Boston Terriers that they rescued from that home that are also searching for their forever family.
First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey back with us. The ocean situation is still rough, even with that medical waste situation, Bob.
This is true. Yeah, but the waves are beginning to calm down. The winds have shifted from the east to the north. We still have coastal flood advisories for Sussex County, but farther south you do not. Assateague and Chincoteague, you're looking at temperatures in the 70s today. A lot of clouds this morning, some sun as we go through the day. But if you are venturing in the water with some of those beaches that are open, rip current threat is high. UV index is high too, and waves are decreasing, but still about 3 to 4 feet in Fenwick Island and Ocean City. A mix of sun and clouds and highs in the 60s early on and then into the mid 70s. On the bay side, your 3-day forecast is looking better. Cambridge 80 today, then upper 70s, sun and clouds Friday and Saturday, and then Crisfield 78 today, up to 80 on Friday, 77 on Saturday. So temperatures pretty close to average, and that's where we'll be end of the week into the weekend, and more sunshine to come. Much more in your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Thank you. you so much, Bob. Also coming up after the break, apartments causing controversy. We're telling you why neighbors are against the proposal in Georgetown.
Also, request for repair, the work plans the Indian River Inlet has after this year's dune breaches.
And helping first responders in the first state, we're showing you what's expected from Governor Carney as the annual Delaware Volunteer Firefighters Association Conference continues.
A legacy is earned, built on years of trust and reliability. To build the best vehicles with the best value. Right now, get a Tundra with low 1.99% APR.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
Dedication, determination, and drive. That's what's needed to be a DSN Scholar Athlete, brought to you by your Salisbury Honda dealer.
Each month, we'll award a $1,000 scholarship to a Delmarva senior that excels in the classroom and in sports.
They must have a B average or higher and a drive for good sportsmanship.
Nominate your champion today on the Features tab on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com.
The DSN Scholar Athlete, sponsored by your Salisbury Honda dealer.
The Delaware Celebration of Jazz presents Cancer Survivor Night, an evening of music and dance benefiting the Beatty Tunnel Cancer Center. Tickets are just $39 and is your chance to make a difference. Show your support by purchasing or gifting tickets today. For more information, visit RehobothJazz.com.
The work we do at Delaware Electric Cooperative is driven by one goal: providing our members with the most affordable and reliable power possible. The co-op is committed to maintaining and improving our system through the use of innovative technologies. Our Beat the Peak program helps keep rates affordable when the cost to produce power is highest. Each year, we give back capital credits to our members as a return on their investment in us. At DEC, members matter most. And that's why we keep the lights on.
Was her roommate an opportunist?
You kept a security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. There's a pattern here that I'm not liking.
Judge Judy.
Thursday at 2 on CoastTV.
Now on CoastTV News.
Seeing lots of clouds this morning, but the sun will return later today and into the weekend with near normal temperatures. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up.
Delaware's volunteer firefighters together, details about the annual convention underway this week.
Inlet improvement efforts, the work being planned by Delaware's transportation and environmental departments.
Milton works on affordable housing plans. We look at some of those options that are being considered by the town.
This is CoastTV News Today.
September 19th, 2024. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Paige Marley.
And we're approaching 6:28 on this Thursday morning. And all I have to say about that, Paige, it's almost Friday.
Feels so good, right?
It does. I feel like this week's dragged out. We were talking during one of the breaks that we thought yesterday was Thursday. A few of us here did.
A lot of us.
Two of us that I know of.
I think the whole Coast Life team, the whole news team that people I've been talking to, they say the week's been dragging. I actually think it's been going fast for me.
Okay, so you're not one of the two.
That's just, I'm still excited for Friday,
I'm one of the
though.
two.
Yeah.
There's another one on our staff here that also thought it was Thursday yesterday.
Does his name rhyme with Rob?
No.
Wall? Paul? I'm trying to think of what people that work on our team. Elisa? Anyways, we won't out them. Anyways, Bob. Bob, what did you think about yesterday? Was it Thursday or Friday?
Well, I knew yesterday was Wednesday, and I had a feeling that today was Thursday, but I knew a lot of people in the newsroom were looking forward to Friday, and that's always dangerous. You don't want to do that because then you're thinking, oh, gosh. But anyway, no, it's Thursday, and it's drying out. We had the rain yesterday. Now it's just clouds. We're seeing some breaks in the clouds now. Maybe still some sprinkles hanging on up near Baltimore, back through the I-95 corridor. We still have some moisture hanging around, but the main area of low pressure is offshore, and you see these little blips of green around D.C. and then farther to the south. It's possible we could see a stray shower during the day for us, but we're continuing the drying out process. Upper 60s inland right now, 70 at the beaches, but the winds have shifted to the north, bringing in slightly drier air. And with that trajectory, we're seeing less in the way of coastal impacts, but still a coastal flood advisory for Sussex County as we go through today. Futurecast has the clouds diminishing and temperatures warming mid-70s late morning and by noon. Lots of sunshine, upper 70s inland, but cooler lower to mid-70s at the beaches. And look at 80 degrees popping up inland inland areas, warming up as we go through the day. So the kiddos at the bus stop, maybe a light jacket off to school, 68 degrees, but then you can carry that jacket. We're looking at sun and clouds heading home and a temperature of 80 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. An annual gathering of some of Delaware's bravest this week in Dewey Beach. Volunteer firefighters from across the state meeting for the annual Volunteer Firefighters Association Conference.
Yeah, CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is in our newsroom. Elisa, while the conference is important to bring all volunteers together, it also honors their accomplishments throughout the year.
Yeah, Matt and Paige, that conference began on Monday in Dewey Beach, and actually, this is the first time that the annual volunteer conference is back at the Delaware beaches since 1997. And distinguished volunteers from across the state were honored at this convention. And this event is one of the few times all of the fire companies in the state have the chance to be together. Governor Carney is expected to sign 5 bills that benefit Delaware's volunteers. These include update to the move over for first responders, distribution of insurance premium funds, membership requirements for federal background checks, line of duty death benefit increase, and Delaware flag for member of 10 years of service or more. One volunteer firefighter told us his favorite part about the convention.
But also the learning part, the education part of the conference is important to all of us. But getting together and networking and sharing ideas and thoughts are also an important part of the conference.
And Carney is expected to sign those bills today at noon at the convention. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Elisa. Moving on, an investigation into Ocean City's police department. The department confirms it involves workplace misconduct by 5 police officers. A county charging committee is reviewing findings from the investigation, after which it will make a disciplinary recommendation to Chief Ross Bizzuro. Police say this will take time. 3 officers were suspended in May over the alleged misconduct. What exactly that misconduct was, that has not been publicly disclosed.
Emergency plans to improve the Indian River inlet after dune breaches now moving forward. DelDOT will be adding sheets of steel, creating a wall. DENREC will do an emergency sand replenishment project to boost the beaches. At the behest of the environmentalists, the agencies are holding a public meeting. This will be on September 25th in Bethany.
A controversy over a proposed apartment complex in Georgetown continues. Did get through a big hurdle.
It did, as CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us. Some people, they're not too thrilled about the prospect of this project.
More apartments, more housing for locals. That's the goal with this new project on Calhoun Road that was discussed at the Town Planning Commission meeting Wednesday. However, some people in the area are pushing back. A letter was sent to the members of the Planning Commission stating that the daycare center nearby is strongly against the new apartments. Casey Christoffel is the executive director of the Primeros Pasos Early Learning Center in Georgetown. She says her first priority is the safety of the kids. She collected over 300 signatures for a petition against these apartments and says she has multiple concerns.
I think it's the traffic. I think that parents are waiting to come in. I think the buses are here, and there are several cars that pass the buses, which is a hazard to the kids. There's a very little space between all the houses and myself to add 108 apartments and people.
Sharon Cruz is an engineer on this project. She says it will create more opportunities for housing in the area.
So people, it's harder for them to find housing they can afford near where they work. And there is, a huge community here in Georgetown. The town is growing, and there needs to be more housing for the workforce.
What represents a hazard to some represents homes to others, and while it's clear that the opinions on this plan are mixed, the project is moving forward to the next stage of review.
The Town Planning Commission voted yes on this project, but it still has to go through the Town Council. The apartment complex would be built right here in this area behind me, but since there are still a few more details left for the project, there is no set time on when they'd be built or finished. In Georgetown, Brendan Conroy, CoastTV News.
Happening today, the next step in creating more affordable housing options in Milton.
Yeah, the town's committee tasked with overseeing this effort will review proposals from the Milford Housing Development Corporation.
Now, just to be clear, the name of the corporation is Milford. It does manage all 4 of Milton's subsidized housing facilities.
This includes Milton's Landing. The site permit there allows for expansion, and There are plans next year for an additional 48 units.
The Milford Corporation has told the town that if accessory dwelling units or ADUs are permitted,
Yeah, this would help with people wanting these types of homes to pay for it if they do not have financing or are able to get a loan.
This is all in the early stages, as the information reviewed today will be used to write a report with recommendations to town council.
New in Washington, a House bill that would have secured government funding failed on Wednesday. Shutdown could be on the horizon. The bill, which was Speaker Mike Johnson's 6-month resolution and SAVE Act plan, failed by 18 votes. Johnson's plan called for extending funding for 6 months. It was linked with Donald Trump's SAVE Act. That requires people to show proof of citizenship to register to vote. With just 13 days left before money runs out for the federal government, there still isn't really a plan in place to avoid a shutdown.
The FBI and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service are now investigating after suspicious mail was sent to several election officials across the U.S. More than a dozen states received the suspicious packages, some of which contained an unknown substance. This latest scare comes as early voting has already begun in several states ahead of the high-stakes elections for president, Senate, Congress, and key state house offices.
We have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, shining a light on local history, we're showing you how 2 organizations are coming together to preserve a piece of history in Lewis.
Also, interconference battle on the high school volleyball court. We will show you how a sophomore and a senior made a difference in the matchup between Delmarva Christian and Indian River.
And Coastal Concert changes, what you need to know about some changes to Springfest and Cruise in OC, so stick with us on CoastTV News Today.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, like myself in tile, to ensure that you have the best product to fit your needs, and that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your remodel.
I was able to look at everything that I was looking for my new kitchen, including the backsplash and the countertop and the sinks all in one place.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
If you know a high school student on Delmarva with a passion for agriculture or the culinary arts,
nominate them to become a WBOC Mount Air Farm to Table Scholarship winner.
The people who grow and prepare our food are more important than ever.
We are looking for 10 graduating seniors with a passion for feeding the world like we do at Mount Air Farms.
Nominees must have a 3.5 GPA or better, be an active participant in farming or culinary programs, and spend time giving back to the community.
Go to WBOC.com to nominate today.
Design a custom home that fits your unique style and budget with Accessible Home Builders. At Accessible, we provide you with a variety of customizable options to create the home of your dreams.
Accessible Builders provided us with a beautiful home.
Scott is full of ideas from his past experiences, and he really worked with us on all our custom asks and wants.
We would definitely recommend Accessible Builders.
Completely customize your dream home with Accessible Home Builders.
Mondays at 5 on Big 1077. It's time to huddle up and talk football.
We're talking touchdowns, tackles, and everything in between. From game-changing plays to the latest news around the league.
We'll take a deep dive into all of the plays that made a difference.
We'll see you in the end zone.
Catch the End Zone, Mondays at 5 on Big 1077.
.38 on our Thursday morning as we're looking at our Tyndall's Casual Furniture camera in Laurel. Beautiful sunrise about to commence here in a few minutes. Right now, 67 in Laurel. A little bit of haze out there at the present time, and temperatures into the upper 60s inland areas. 70 from Lewis down to Bethany Beach in Ocean City right now. So maybe a light jacket out the door as the winds have shifted to the north and northeast, and that's bringing in some drier air, a little gustier at the beaches, and still some coastal impact. A coastal flood advisory. Watch for some flooding at time of high tide. Otherwise, we're looking at blue sky. I did notice some blue sky out there with the clouds. The rain is offshore. Just a few little sprinkles to our west. Can't rule out a sprinkle throughout the day, but we're drying out. On our drive cast, we have the green lights 6, 7, and 8 a.m., so looking good. Road's still a little wet, and then your p.m. commute looking good. Sun and clouds and temperatures into the 70s to around 80 degrees.
I know this is a ways off, but Ocean City and its Special Events Division has announced they are changing the date for Springfest. Springfest is the annual 4-day festival, and this upcoming one will be the 34th anniversary. The event usually takes place the first week of May, but in 2025 it'll be April 24th through the 27th. They moved this because they say it fits better with the town schedule.
Springfest, not the only big event on the move. Cruise in Ocean City, usually held in late May, will now be held the first week of that month. From May 1st through the 4th, you can still expect to see the 3,000 incredible rides, hot rods to customs to classics and trucks, plus live music, special guests, and more.
Week 3 of the NFL season, and we look ahead to Sunday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons, fresh off their win over the Eagles, take on the Kansas City Chiefs and Big Red Andy Reid. Coverage here on CoastTV starts at 7.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
It's time to head to the volleyball courts for a pair of Delaware squads. Delmarva Christian at home hosting Indian River, both coming off victories earlier in the week. Indian River in green, Delmarva Christian in white. First set action, IR setting up, but it's blocked back down by Katie Jones and Elena Milloway. Great defense at the net earns a score for the Royals. Later in the set, Milloway says, "Get out of the way," destroys this ball for the kill. The Royals win the opening set 25-20. On to the second set. Tied at 15 apiece, Leilani Ellers pokes it over and grabs another IR point. Indian River would win set 2 25-21 to tie the match up. In the third, back come the Royals. Milloway again with a devastating swing, helping lead Delmarva Christian to a 25-15 set win and a 2-1 lead. The Royals trying to clinch in the fourth, and the Milloway show continues. Same spot, same result. The senior leads the way in a convincing 3-1 victory for Delmarva Christian. Make sure to subscribe to DSN Plus so you don't miss action like the 4 live games we had for you last night. Once you're subscribed, you won't miss any of our live content on the DSN app or our website. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
Coming up today on DSN at 5:30, Scoops and Scores, the football pregame show, getting you ready for the game of the night at 6 p.m. Y-High taking on Queen Anne's Live. At 10:30, it's the final score. On DSN Plus at 4, you can watch Indian River take on Sussex Tech in field hockey. 4:30, Milford and Lake Forest, also field hockey. 6 p.m., it's that game of the night we mentioned.
Robert Pattinson explores new planets in his latest film, and there's also a beloved crime-fighting canine making a cinematic debut. Here's Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Minute.
I guess I am feeling a little dizzy.
Oh, wow! Did you see that?
Robert Pattinson heads to space. The actor plays an expendable employee who must repeatedly face death while trying to colonize a new planet in Mickey 17. Stephen Yeun, Toni Collette, and Mark Ruffalo also star in the sci-fi thriller, set to arrive in January.
Tell your mama to tell you about that piano.
The piano lesson is already receiving major honors. The upcoming drama has been chosen for the 2024 Gotham Awards Ensemble Tribute, which recognizes a cast that includes Samuel L. Jackson and John David Washington. The 34th annual event will be held December 2nd in New York City.
Dogman, listen up. You're the only one that can stop him with all your kung fu skills and your canine fortitude or whatnot.
A new animated hero has arrived. Based on the hit children's books, Dogman follows a canine-human hybrid who must save the day from the devious Petey the Cat, voiced by Pete Davidson. Dogman's adventures hit the big screen in January. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Maybe it's been a rough week. We can cheer you up with a weekly dose of good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up at coasttv.com/sign up. You'll get a weekly dose of joy sent directly to your inbox on Fridays.
We're looking at a beautiful sunrise in progress in Cambridge. Look at that red sky, some clouds, blue skies as well. A gorgeous start to the day. The steady rain is long gone, but we still have some of those clouds this morning. The sun will return at times today and into the weekend with temperatures near normal. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes.
Download the CoastTV News app on your Apple or Android devices.
1, 2, 3.
Let's get back to business. This is your step 2. What to, what not to. How to get bigger, better. Team Snoop, quit playing, man. You are flavorful.
The Voice, new Monday on NBC and Peacock.
I like to know what my patients are experiencing, to feel how they're feeling.
I choose to walk with them, find a path forward when nobody else will.
Brilliant Minds, Monday on NBC and Peacock.
Join the Harry K Foundation for the Fashion for Charity Girls Night Out October 16th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Shellville Village in Rehoboth Beach. Indulge in cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, a fashion show, and shopping on this evening of fashion, food, friends, and philanthropy. Tickets are $48 with benefits going to the Harry K Foundation, working to defeat childhood hunger throughout Delaware. For tickets and info, visit harrykfoundation.org. Sponsored by CoastTV.
Scoops and scores and Friday Night Lights. Football coverage like you've never seen before. Live games of the night every Friday night with the pre, half, and post-game shows. Plus, we'll take you around Delmarva for the latest real-time scores during Friday Night Lights. Tune in to the Delmarva Sports Network and the DSN app every Friday night this fall season. Scoops and scores and Friday Night Lights only on DSN and the DSN app.
Weather brought to you by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, dedicated to excellence in Delaware and Maryland.
Coastal Comfort knows there's no place like home. It's where we can be totally comfortable being ourselves, making a mess, making improvements, making strides, making memories with those we love, totally. Big or small, at the beach, or on the farm, all along the Eastern Shore. It's home, and Coastal Comfort is always here to keep you totally comfortable.
Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Time is now 6:46 on this Thursday. We're going to take a live look now at Ocean View. And normally this time, Bob, we see the sunrise. We're like, oh, the sun is so beautiful. But I guess, those clouds, they are just so beautiful too.
Yeah, they're hanging around, Paige. We have the rain that's moved offshore, but we still have low pressure kind of swirling around. So we still have the clouds, and we still have some impacts too along the coast. Now, the storm is gone, but we still have a coastal flood advisory until 3 o'clock Friday for Sussex County. At the time of high tides, you could see some inundation here and those favored vulnerable spots from Lewis down to Fenwick Island. So keep that in mind. But the good news, the wind is not east now. It's more northeast. So those coastal impacts are lessening. Eastern Shore, also a coastal flood advisory, Dorchester, Somerset, Wycomico until this evening. So once again, those lower spots could flood at time of high tide. As the winds are more northeasterly right now and a little gusty at the beaches, lighter inland, but this wind is bringing in slightly drier air as we have some blue sky across the area. But you can see how the clouds are kind of swirling over the top of us as we still have low pressure. So we have clouds, and even it looks like a couple of sprinkles farther to the north and west, far eastern shore of Maryland, back into Baltimore and D.C. So it's possible we could see a sprinkle through the day, but the main low pressure is offshore. That's where the main show is, as some higher pressure is bringing in some drier air. 67 in Delmar this morning, 68 in Georgetown, but 70 from Lewis down to Bethany Beach right now. So a pretty mild morning with that wind out of the north. Here's Futurecast at 7. Still mid to high level clouds, but we are seeing those breaks of blue and more in the way of blue sky and sunshine by noon into the upper 70s. Inland cooler, low to mid 70s, Ocean City to Dewey Beach, but look at 80 popping up in Millsboro, Georgetown, and other locations. So looking good there and looking good into this evening as well. We go from the 70s into the 60s, and with mainly clear skies tonight, watch out for fog developing into Friday morning. Some of that could be on the dense side. Otherwise, it's a little cooler with temperatures in the 50s and 60s. And as we go into your Friday, looking great into the afternoon, maybe 80 well inland with lower 70s at the beaches. And Friday evening, we've got the football games looking good. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, cooling into the 60s Friday night as we have low pressure offshore. Here's Friday, 5 p.m. with most of the rain into the ocean. But for us, we're still kind of hanging on to unsettled weather, but we will see the sunshine, I think, Friday into the weekend. Maybe more clouds on Sunday. I don't think we're looking at rain. It will be drying out as the winds have turned to the east and to the north, and then they'll become variable, so those coastal impacts will diminish with time. Paul Davis 7-day forecast up to 80 today. That's away from the coast. And then Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, 78. By Saturday, mostly sunny, 79. A little cooler Sunday, I think, more cloud cover, 74. Then we dip into the upper 50s Monday and Tuesday morning. So getting a little cooler, 72 Monday, but then warming into the mid 70s with sun and clouds Tuesday into Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Bob. The John Dickinson Plantation is the site of a new project with one local organization addressing the silences. That's the name of the partnership between the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice and that plantation.
And Coast TV News reporter Zakia Jennings shows us what this partnership aims to do.
The John Dickinson Plantation, full of history about an often forgotten population. This history has led two organizations to join forces.
So an email came across the founder. Her name is Charlotte King. And I said, this is fascinating. We need to get involved.
The John Dickinson Plantation, along with the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice, have partnered together for a transformative nationwide project called Addressing the Silences. Gloria Henry with the John Dickinson Plantation explains exactly what that means.
We are a site that shares the stories of the people who lived there. That includes the tenant farmers, the enslaved individuals, the freedom seekers, the enslaved black men, women, and children.
Gwendolyn Miller with the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice says the two share a common goal: preserving our full, factual history.
We hope to make a positive impact in the voices that are shared at the John Dickinson Plantation, so everyone feels valued and welcomed.
Both women say that this partnership isn't just between the two organizations, but a community effort, and they are seeking out the voices of the community at their town hall in Lewis.
We realize we cannot do it alone. We should not be doing it alone. We should be involving the community to help us explain some of these events.
For these two organizations, this project gives a voice to the voiceless and elevates a unique experience at the museum. The pair will officially announce their project at a town hall here at the Lewis Library behind me. They hope to have another town hall in the future to share their progress with their project. In Lewis, I'm Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
It's now 6:51, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day, one half of our brother duo that we often see, that is Diesel on your screen taking a nap. Paige, maybe he's waiting to have some of that soup that you love on your napping days.
I do, which is every day, right?
Oh, yesterday, particularly with all the dreary weather.
Yes, definitely. I would cuddle with Diesel, eat some soup, and take a nap anytime.
Yeah, Diesel was submitted to us by Tammy and Seaford.
Very sweet. Keep sending us all the sweet photos of your pets. We love seeing them. Tell us what makes them so special.
You can scan that QR code at the top there. That way you can submit your furry friend to Coast TV News and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
I think Diesel has the right idea. Snoozing probably during the clouds and rain yesterday, but now it's clearing up. We're seeing some blue sky in Salisbury right now, 66, and maybe a little bit of drizzle or light rain this morning. Otherwise, the sun is returning for today, the rest of the week, into the weekend as well. Then the nice weather also lasts into a good chunk of next week. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up next.
These fields are empty now, but soon they'll be alive.
Some teams can only dream to play it because they can't afford it. And that is why Toyota is sponsoring Delmarva's Dream Team.
We're looking for teams from any sport and any level. Each month, your Delmarva Toyota dealer will give one local team a $1,000 grant. And after the year, one finalist will receive an additional $3,000.
Nominate your dream team at DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com under the Features tab.
DSN's Delmarva's Dream Team, sponsored by your local Toyota dealer.
Get ready for the spookiest night of the year. Milton Zombie Fest is creeping up on October 19th starting at 4 p.m. in downtown Milton. It's a haunted Mardi Gras like you've never seen before. Bring the whole family for bone-chilling fun with live music, freak shows, food trucks, costume contests, and a laser light show that'll leave you screaming for more. Admission is free, so come join the undead for a night you won't forget. For more info, visit miltontheater.com. Sponsored by Coast TV.
Shower Glass. Our name says it all. We provide the best custom shower glass on the shore in a fraction of the time, and our reviews prove it.
Shower Glass delivers the best fit, finish, and fastest service.
Reliable scheduling, competitive pricing, the best in the business.
They're the only one we call for Shower Glass.
Frameless beauty with speed, accuracy, and lifetime warranties. Shower Glass. It's all we do. Visit showerglassdoors.net to schedule your free consultation.
Don't miss the Delaware Resorts Fall Home Expo at Cape Henlopen High School in Lewis, September 21st and 22nd. Admission is free. 100 exhibitors from throughout the Delaware region will present their products and services. Come see a wide array of some of the resort area's top home product and service companies, all under one roof. Many of the exhibitors offer expo specials, and some will be giving away gifts and prizes. Ample parking is free. Don't miss the free Fall Home Expo, September 21st and 22nd at Cape Henlopen High School in Lewis. No strangers here, just friends you've not met yet. With an outside patio and inside charm, Irish Eyes Pub and Restaurant Milton is a local's favorite on the banks of the Broadkill River. Irish Eyes Pub and Restaurant Lewis, gorgeous views, free parking, and the best happy hour at the beach, with room for everyone. And for a truly special event, go no further than the Lewis Room at Irish Eyes. The panoramic views, in-house chef, and professional team will make it easy to plan your next event. Find out more at irisheyespub.com.
It is 6:55. It's time for some things you need to know before you go. The FBI and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service are investigating after suspicious mail was sent to several election officials across the U.S. More than a dozen states received suspicious packages, some of which contained an unknown substance. This latest scare comes as early voting has begun in several states ahead of the high-stakes elections for president, Senate, Congress, and key state house offices.
After a House bill that would have secured government funding failed on Wednesday, a shutdown could be on the horizon. The bill, which was Speaker Mike Johnson's 6-month resolution and SAVE Act plan, failed by an 18-vote margin. Johnson's plan called for extending funding for 6 months, linking it with Donald Trump's SAVE Act. That requires people to show proof of citizenship to register to vote. And with just 13 days left before money runs out for the federal government, there still isn't any plan in place to avoid a shutdown.
Emergency plans to improve the Indian River Inlet after dune breaches are moving forward. DelDOT will add sheets of steel, creating a wall. DenRec will do an emergency sand replenishment project to boost the beaches. And of course, as environmentalists, the agencies, they're holding a public meeting for them on this September 25th in Bethany.
Day 5 of the medical waste situation on our beaches. Up and down the Delmarva coast, beaches remain closed because of medical waste washing ashore. Our Maryland authorities confirmed the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, working with Delaware and Maryland to determine why this waste continues to wash up and where it came from. The debris ranges from pill bottles to tubing and needles.
All right, it's 6:56 now. It's time for a quick look at your forecast before you head out your door.
Yeah, but we're past all those yellow alerts, but still a little concerned about what's going on the water.
Yeah, and I don't think many people are going to be out there in the ocean anyway. We still have high rip current risk. You know, it's still a little rough out there, and it's just not a great beach day for a lot of reasons. But we still have a coastal flood advisory across the coast for Sussex County. High tide watch for some flooding in those usual vulnerable areas. We're warming through the 60s into the 70s today with more sunshine and lower 80s away from the coast. Cooler 70s at the beaches. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Friday 78, mostly sunny on Saturday 79. A little cooler on Sunday 74 with more clouds. Then we're dipping into the 50s Monday and Tuesday morning. A little cooler to start next week. Dry through Wednesday, but then it looks like rain chances start by next Thursday into the weekend.
All righty, Bob. Thank you, and thank you for joining us on Coast TV News Today.
Today's show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
We'll be back with Coast TV midday at 11. Stick around.
And for even more news coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and Weather apps. Have a great Thursday morning, everybody.